Hi everyone, I'm Lexi Jackson with the Sync Center Help Desk, here to tell you all about our next episode. In this episode, John and I talk about the important factors that are needed when thinking to sync songs to film. For composers and filmmakers alike, it's important to know all the facts, up front, with no secrets and no surprises. Join us in this episode to learn more and to learn about how we use a document called the 20 Questions document to find out all the information that we need to begin a project. I learned a lot. I'm so incredibly certain that you will too. Thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to see you in this next episode. Hey everyone, I'm Lexi Jackson with the Sync Center Help Desk, and I'm here with lovely John Pashada. We're here to talk to you guys about something that I think is actually really important for first-time people involved in sync, as well as more seasoned people who need a refresher course. So in this episode, we're talking about how to sync a song in your film. So I know for me personally, getting into the sync world, it's been really fun to learn about the different processes involved with sync. But I've noticed that there's a lot of differences, or at least there's differences and there's overlaps, I'd say, between the artist side when looking at sync and something like a filmmaker side when looking at sync, because there's different processes, like I said, but I think that you want to come at each of those processes with a different mindset because of your background, what your project is, and things like that. So I wanted to talk to John, who has obviously a little more experience, what he thinks are some of the key differences. So John, what do you think some of the key differences are between an artist's process in sync and a filmmaker's process?
I mean, that's a great context around this question, Lexi, because it is different for the buy side and for the sell side. We've found that starting the project right is 90% of it. So if you can get a solid footing on it, whether you're supervising a project or you're licensing your music for it, it's actually this. We use the same document to just zero in and get 100% clarity on it. So maybe we can step through that. We call it the 20 questions document, and it's really like a project scope document to where we go through these 20 questions for every project, because there's a lot of, people are coming at it from some experience, zero experience, and a ton of experience.
Right, especially for like independent artists who aren't super familiar with the process. They definitely, having something outlined, even in writing necessarily, is really helpful, because like I say all the time, people are different types of learners, and some people need that visual aid to really comprehend what it is that they're getting into. So
100%, you're right. And this is something we developed. Like, I think the first 18 months of doing licensing, we just fumbled our way through it. So this is really how we got it right, and how we really distill it down into something that adds clarity for both parties. So if you like, we can go through that 20 questions document together and just spend some time.
If you have like a blank version of it or something, just so I can see.
Let me screen share this. Zoomaroos, share screen. Okay, Lexi, are you seeing that?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a document that we use on every project. And we can even make this available for our viewers as a download if they'd like to grab it. But this is what we call the 20 questions document. And really core to how we work is, I think we talked about it briefly previously, but it's no secrets and no surprises, which means, everybody's coming at it from a different place. So we just need to get bulletproof on clarity. So this really helps us get that filmmaker, get the ad executive, get the corporate, whoever's on the buy side, to really wrestle it down to earth, because they don't know what they don't know, and this helps them really go spearfishing, if you will. So yeah, this
So
is
would you say that this document covers, well, I think it does. I was going to say, would you say this document covers the things that are similar between an artist and a filmmaker and different all at the same time, because it outlines each thing that is needed for you to do your job? I think that is kind of what this document definitely helps with, it seems like.
100%. This is all about eliminating variables, to where if you're going to grant somebody a use, then you know exactly what you're saying yes to, because that affects the price, right? If somebody wants in perpetuity, that's a higher price than, a film festival circuit for 1 year.
Right.
So it gives clarity to the composer who's licensing the music and the supervisor who wants to license the music for their film. So if you like, we can kind of step through this together. Okay, so this is the 20 questions document. At the top of it is the song that we want to use. Okay. And then we need the songwriter information that goes here, and the recording artist, because oftentimes those are two different parties.
True.
And then the publisher, who's responsible for the underlying copyright, and is the recording used, the master recording.
Is there a particular format that you want things to be typed out in? Like, I know sometimes on PRO sites and stuff, they'll put it last name, first name. Do you prefer that here, or?
We can actually look, if we have time, Lexi, we can actually look at a couple examples, like filled out completely. Okay. But I mean, we're not super
picky.
Yeah, this just has to be readable and gettable. So actually, the less information, the better, but it has to be the right information.
Right.
Okay. But we can look at a couple 20 questions documents that we've finished out here. Okay, so that's basically the information of the song. Everything in this gray box is, okay, what is the song? Who are the writers, publishers, and labels, right? Because that's who needs to say yes to this. When we want to license a song for an ad campaign or a film project, this is who we're going to negotiate with, basically. And I would also say, Lexi, that getting this right is really important, because that really communicates, if I could talk this morning,
the irony,
communicates credibility. Like, the last thing you want is a publisher to come back with more questions on this, because if you're doing your job well, the information they need, and you're giving it to them to where they can quickly come back with thumbs up, thumbs down, or negotiation happens.
Right. Okay.
So a lot of credibility in getting this right.
So you would be passing this form along to whoever it is, or would you put it in another type of format?
Yeah, great question. So say we want We Will Rock You from Queen. All that information goes in here, and then we turn around and we share this document with the people we're negotiating with, publishers, record labels. So again, it's like getting this right makes everything so easy.
So much easier. Yeah.
The filmmaker knows that there's 0 question marks for the filmmaker. There's 0 question marks for the rights holders. So top is the song information, and then we move down to the use. So this is all the specifics about. First question is the duration of music. Is it 15 seconds or is it 3 minutes? 15 seconds is going to be more affordable than 3 minutes.
3 minutes, right?
And then a description of the song use. A lot of artists are very precious with their music, as they should be. So we either describe, put 2 or 3 sentences in here of how their song is going to be used, because they want their songs used in flattering, positive light. They don't want to be in, alcohol, tobacco commercial.
Right, unless they're like okay with that.
And really, at our level, nobody wants their music used in that way, right?
Okay.
They care. They want to add value to their catalog, not devalue. So if it's a drug use or something negative, they don't want their stuff in that.
Really
and then
quick,
also,
just to clarify, the duration of music, you're only putting in what you expect to want to use, right? You're not necessarily putting in the entire, like, I know you said 15 seconds or 3 minutes, but
right.
So you're only putting in what you want to use, not necessarily what the total is and what you want to use.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Because what's important for us is saving our clients money. So if we only need 15 seconds, that's a heck of a lot cheaper than 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
And you would put in the timestamps of that 15 seconds?
We just say, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 20, whatever it is. They don't need a timestamp. We're not there. We don't need to be that accurate.
Okay. Okay.
So we got duration of music, description of song use, kind of a continuation of the description of song use. A lot of filmmakers have web links, rough cuts available of the spot. So oftentimes we will share those private links with publishers and labels, so they can, if it's a flattering video, we want to share that with them to show them, like, look, you can watch it, check it out right here.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if it looks great and it's, uses the song in a positive light,
right,
that's going to get us to yes.
So they can actually see like how it would be used in real time, or in 100%. That actual instance, as opposed
and that could be animation, a rough cut animation. A lot of times we get pencil drawings to where they're not finished animation, but
right. Just to get a better understanding of the use, because
100%.
Not everybody can just be like, oh yeah, that song will totally work. Some people need more of a
nobody does mind reading here. It's like the more we can paint the picture or give them an exact visual to watch, the smarter, the quicker the whole thing is. Okay, so description of song use or web links. Is it a featured use or is it a background use? That's important, as a featured use will be much more expensive than, the songs playing in the background. So those are kind of the meat and potatoes data points for the use itself. And then we go to the offer price. So it's important to know who the licensee is. If it's Microsoft, and I hate to say this, look, if it's Microsoft, they're going to have one response. If it's a first-time filmmaker just getting started, they're going to charge a little less.
They might, yeah,
of course. Microsoft, they see dollar signs. I hate to say it. I mean, they're going to charge Microsoft dollars. And then the production name, what's the name of the film? Media is where it's gonna, what type of media is this? DVD? Is it streaming?
Okay, so like Netflix streaming or Showtime or whatever.
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all that goes in here as well. So again, this goes to, we only want to pay we only want to pay for the use we need. We don't want to overpay for the use. So we get very specific there on, is it DVD and Netflix? Is it, is it a theatrical release? Is it terrestrial television? Those kind of things.
So if someone said DVD and Netflix, would that, just saying Netflix, mean streaming platforms, or is it specifically Netflix? Because like otherwise you would have to, I guess, list out all the platforms that it would be on. Would you need to do that? Or is saying like DVD and streaming
Yeah,
like good?
if it's only going to go to Netflix, that's going to be cheaper than Netflix, Prime, Roku, Peacock.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
You should be as specific as possible.
specific as possible. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the media. And then next is the length of production. Is it hour and a half film? Is it a 3-minute promo video? Is it a, and again, specificity saves money. So if we only need, if the production's only a 30-minute episode, then we, give them that information here.
Right.
Project synopsis is more context of what's the project about. What the heck? We just had a spark in one of our speakers.
Oh no. I just had a thought also. You could totally put specificity saves money on a t-shirt, just merch ideas, letting you know that, and what is it? No secrets, no surprises. No surprises. Yeah, that's another one. Just throwing that out there. All right.
Let's do it. Love it. So yeah, I mean, what we're doing is we're saving money for the project. So the more money we save, the better it is for our filmmaker, the better it is for us. Length of production, project synopsis. What we put here a lot of times, Lexi, is this can get kind of technical and transactional. So we have to remember that artists are high feelers. And if we can communicate
with emotion,
the mission of if it's a documentary and it's about, wild horses in Wyoming, communicating that mission and passion around the project is really important, because the artist is kind of wired the same way. They want to do stuff that they feel passionate about.
Yeah.
It's the publishers, the record label administrators in the middle of this who are interested in the details and the dots.
They're not too they don't, I don't want to say they don't care, but that's not their like driving motivation for making their decisions.
They are motivated to drive revenue for their catalog.
Right.
But the end person who says yes is the artist or the family estate, if the artist has passed away. So if it's the Buddy Holly estate, then his wife has to connect with the project because she says no automatically all the time. So if you can get their heart and their passion and really communicate mission and vision of the project, this is where we do it, the project synopsis. So next we have distributor, who's distributing the film. Term, this is super important. How long will the license be? Is it 1 year? Is it 48 hours? We do a lot of music for corporate events. And we just need the music for 6 minutes on Saturday.
Okay.
So we just put that in there. Like, we don't need it for a week. We don't need it for a year. We don't need it in perp. Again, it's saving money for the filmmaker or the client here.
Right.
Territory or region, is it North American? Is it global, all uses in perpetuity? Is it Davidson County, Nashville, Tennessee? If it's a regional campaign that's only going in the Southeast, then we'll put that in here.
Specify.
Next we have release or air date. And this is important pretty much for every project. If filmmakers tend to wait until it's too late sometimes.
2 weeks before.
What's that?
I said 2 weeks before.
Right. Pull a rabbit out of our hat. So yeah, the sooner the filmmaker starts this and we're brought onto the project, the more money we can save them, really. So if it's 3 months down the road, that's good. If it's, 2 months, it starts getting tighter and tighter. So the last place you want to be is like, oh, we have an air date in 4 days.
Oh
you know,
no.
and we want a well-known song. Well,
Mhm.
you're probably not we can't do miracles. So at that
Right,
point, we think about replacing the music and maybe go to
right,
independent
right,
artist there.
right.
Um,
Just out of curiosity, have you ever been in a situation like that where you just straight told the client, like, I'm sorry, I can't do that?
no, we do have an expedited service that,
Okay.
if somebody waits too long, we can go expedited and push this through, put it at the top of our list, and it's all hands on deck. And that's common,
Mm,
um, especially for series on television that are, every Thursday. It's a recurring, every
mhm,
Thursday there's new music. Uh,
mhm,
but yeah, I mean, if we say yes to a project, we have to know they have a budget to hire us and they
mhm,
have a budget for the music, right?
mhm,
If
mhm.
if they don't think music is valuable, they're not our clients. We can't work with them because, it's
Mhm.
it's
Yeah, I think understanding your own value as a business and understanding the value of the art itself, I think is really
yeah,
important, especially with something like this. I think that's why that's another reason why I should say having all the specificity at the beginning is important so that you can make sure that you're doing the art justice, you're doing the artists justice, the composers, everybody involved in the process, making sure that everybody is covered
yeah,
to the best of your ability.
yeah, 100%. And look, if somebody is a wedding videographer, they just need library music. There's a ton of royalty free stuff out there.
Yeah.
Just Google royalty free music and you can go get free stuff for wedding
Mhm.
videos.
Right.
But we don't really work in that space. We tend to be kind of mid market or up market.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, you're exactly right, Lexi. So release, air date, film budget. Now, this is where we talked about no secrets and no surprises. This
Mhm.
is where filmmakers can get a little close to the vest and not really.
Mhm.
And this is confidential stuff, right? We don't share this out, and this is part of why we're doing the sync school, because we can't put this stuff on YouTube, but in a high trust environment we can go through and kind of redact some of the specifics, but
Mhm.
talk about real budgets, real world stuff.
Mhm.
um, but that's a question they're going to ask. They're going to say, okay, what's the total budget for the film? Is it 2 million or is it 20 million?
Mhm.
A $2 million budget is going to have more music spend than a $2 million, but a $20 million budget, 20 million more music than 2 million.
Yes,
Um,
that.
and then part of the other side of that coin is the song price. What are we
Mhm.
asking? What are we offering for this song? If we say we will rock you and we want to use it for $10,000, let's just say.
Mhm.
Uh,
And would you say that you're basing that $10,000 off of the film budget, or are you basing that off of like a standard, not standardized, but like off of a like market price for what that song may go for?
that's a fantastic question, because these 20 questions in this document get us to an offer price. Okay. That's why, is it 3 minutes or is it 30 seconds? Well, if
Mhm.
it's 30
Mhm.
seconds, we're going to offer a smaller amount. So that's why this 20 questions document is so core to kind of starting the project right, ending the project right.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, people say, okay, I want this song for my film. Um, how much is it going to be? You've done this thousands of times. It's like, look, you don't want us to pull a number out of our hat
Okay.
until we've
Yeah.
done this.
Mhm.
And
It's not
even
like going to the store and like going in the peanut butter aisle and grabbing the jar of peanut butter that you want.
yeah,
It's more so it's more nuanced than that.
it's each use is negotiated on its own merits. So that's why these 20 questions are so important, because that's going to get us to clarity and a reasonable offer price. You know, if we can save money and offer $5,000, then we'll do that, because we're working on the filmmakers side of the equation. But you know, if he wants a super song, then those are expensive, you know. So that,
regardless of how much of the song you're using, it's going to be expensive no matter what.
It's length of production, it's distributor, it's term, it's territory, it's film budget, all those things kind of funnel down.
Yeah, it's all coming together to create that price.
Yep, 100%. That's a great question. Yeah, there are no kind of Chinese order menus where you just check the box and go, I want 5 California rolls and 5 tuna rolls. It's each use is negotiated independently. So that's all the information on the project and the offer itself. Okay, so just backing up, at the top we had the song information. Down here in the white, down here we had all the use information. And down here is all the film information and the offer price. And then at the bottom, it's just, you know, is it Warner Brothers? Is it the filmmaker? Is it Procter and Gamble? Company, payee, address, phone, email.
Okay. Yeah. So like if a filmmaker is being funded by a production company or something like that.
Yeah. And this is who's going to pay for the music once we're agreed. You know, yes, everybody's is in agreement for $10,000 for We Will Rock You. Okay, great. Let's do a long form agreement, and these are the people that are going to cut the check. Basically, is what we're saying.
Right. Making sure that you have that information.
Yeah. And it adds credibility here too, Lexi, because we're putting this up front. Like, look, here's the person who you can expect.
Right. It's not like, yeah, my homie's got you later on. Like, it's very much like straight to the point. Like I said, at the very beginning of the process, letting you know, this is who you can expect.
Yeah. This is who they'll invoice. And look, if you need to call them, here it is. If you need to email them.
Right.
Totally.
Right. That way you're also not going through the filmmaker or whoever it is who's I guess, you know, in charge of the project, but not necessarily the payment portion of the project.
Yeah,
you're not going through that person.
Right. This is what we call business affairs, the people that handle the agreements and cut the checks.
Okay.
So in a quick walkthrough, that's what we call the 20 questions document. And you know, we can, if our viewers want to grab a copy of this, it's super helpful for composers and producers to say, okay, great, you're interested in my song. Would you mind filling this out so we can understand each other better? Because it is kind of like speed dating. There's some crazies out there, and this kind of gets everybody on the same page. And I will say this too, Lexi, this is appropriately detailed. Like, you're not going to scare people away with this, but if you
like ask for a bunch of information.
Yeah, if you come at them hard and give them a 8-page sync license agreement, long form out of the gate, you're probably going to lose the deal.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah.
This says, hey, yeah, I'm excited about the use. Help us help you. Can you give us some information on this?
Right.
You're not being a bad composer by asking them, say, okay, who is this for? What is the term? Is it, you know, you're professionalizing the conversation.
Right. Getting all the facts about everything beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, somebody can fill this out in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, if they know what they're doing. It's not brain surgery.
Right.
And then down here, Lexi, for first timers, there's definitions here of, okay, what's a songwriter, what's a publisher, what's media.
Okay, John, I see you helping out people, because that's definitely going to be, that's definitely something that having a glossary of sorts and just like letting people know specifically, like you said, it helps give credibility to the form itself, but also to the people involving themselves with the form, the composers
Yeah.
or the clients that you're working with. That way, everybody, like you said, is on the same page. There's no confusion. And if there is confusion, you have the information you need to contact and let them know, like, hey, this is what we mean by this, or whatever the case is. They can, ask.
Yeah. And we do some hand holding. We'll go through this with our filmmakers or ad executives because we want to tune this and really go through this on their behalf to really make sure we're talking about the same thing. But at the same time, you don't want to embarrass people. The first time filmmakers go into a film festival, they don't know the description of use. So we're helping them get kind of up to speed on it. They don't know featured or background or, territory or Chiron, that kind of stuff. So it really just kind of helps people get bulletproof and get on the same page.
Right. Cool.
So yeah, this is the 20 questions document. And, if people would like a copy of it, we can, put a link.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think a lot of people are gonna find this document definitely really interesting, something to implement in their sync journeys and with their music and things like in their projects.
Yeah.
Really quick, I know we're running out of time. I just wanted to ask if you thought there were any blind spots that you think that people using this 20 questions document or just getting into sync, like I said, as a composer, as an artist, as a filmmaker, should be on the lookout for.
If we do our job right, there shouldn't be any blind spots around this use.
Okay.
So this is meant to eliminate all the variables. So yeah, that's kind of the reason and the purpose for this document.
Okay, solid. Yeah,
I like we can come back. We've got fully filled in 20 questions that we may come back and step through. Okay, here's what this looks fully filled in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want, you can just if you have one available to just open, that way I can just see it. We already went through each section, so I think we don't necessarily have to go through everything that's filled in, but just so I can see what it looks like, I think that would be a good way to end it too. Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Let's see here. So here's one. I Want to Take You Higher by Sly and the Family Stone.
Cool. Yeah, you can just keep scrolling. I'm gonna just take it all in.
It was 2 minutes. Here's the description of use. Here's the project, Blu-ray box set, internet on demand, Prime Video company site. It's really, this was for
everything all in one place.
14,000 all in. I mean, we really should speak to each of these. It's hard to rush through this. We really need to kind of explain, but this is basically what it's like filled in.
Yeah. I think that just seeing this as a form that's been used in practice is really helpful. I know that you said that you would rather explain a bit, but I think just for me personally, and I know I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally, I feel like just having the visual of seeing something that's been used is helpful because I understand each of the sections that you went over, but seeing the real thing, I think, just kind of puts it all into perspective a little bit more for me. So I appreciate you just dropping it in real quick.
And speaking of that, we have our clients. We've got a new project client that we need to jump on a webinar with them here. So
yeah, very true.
They're in the waiting room right now, so we should probably put a bow on the episode.
Awesome. Okay. Well, as you can see, we are real live sync masters over here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. Definitely drop your questions in the comments below and visit the link in our bio wherever you're watching this to find out more about this 20 questions document. If you would like that download, it's right there in that link as well. along with all the awesome tools that we've helped provided to give you guys the assistance that you need. Not to mention the Sync School registration is also there if you are
Yeah.
interested in that.
Thanks for everybody who've signed up already.
Yeah, so far, yeah, I'm really excited so far. I've gotten a lot of feedback from people who are like, yeah, I'm really excited. I just signed up and all this stuff. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
So
But yeah, John, anything else?
nope, we got to jump on this film project call. So
All
we'll
right,
see
sounds
everybody
good.
next time.
All right, bye everybody.